Well, chat, let this challenge officially begin. May the best team win. Funny enough, neither of us are going to be winning anytime soon. But that is, of course, by design. By the way, the sponsorship deals. I actually have some of these. I don't know if it really matters all that much, but yeah, let's do per home run, per hit. There you go. Beautiful. Can I do the same thing? Per home run, 1,500 per hit. There you go. You love to see it. References to earlier, the shades. Yeah, crash, right? Right? So, there we go. Auto fix all. Auto fix all. And auto for the injuries. We do still have to fix that. So let's take a look at Chat's athletics. Now that that's been fixed, here is the rotation of Colton Eastman, Rondell Gage, Dave McQueen, Mitch Spence, and Harmon Bart. And look at that starting bullpen, chat. Look at him. That's a playoff team. Taking Moneyball to a new extreme. Holy shit. Wow. That's a team. That's a team. And the best part is my team is just as bad, except I have Bubba Derby. Or if you're in England, Bubba Darby. So, wow. This is our sharding shortstop. That's a hell of a typo, but an accurate typo of sharding shortstop. The ace had really quickly, let's go to user settings. Mode specifics. The lineup and rotation will be auto. 40-man stays, roster move stay. Waivers will be on manual. Drafting injury management on auto. Free agents, there we go. So those are the two that we needed to do, just to not have to worry about it too much for either side. So obviously the big thing that we're focusing on right now is going to be our first draft with our respective teams. Obviously, eventually trades might be a factor, stuff like that. But for now, it's for the love of God, just sim and see how many games either team wins. Miami 0-9. The Athletics have won a baseball game, beating Cleveland 10-5. Way to go, chat. Way to go. You've done it. You've won a baseball game. Incredible. I might lose out all season to end up with those top lottery odds. We'll see. So how scouting is going to work? It's pretty obvious. In terms of scouting a new position, I am going to be focusing on international only, and chat will not be focusing on international. You'll be getting West, Central, and East. So you know what? I think how we'll do this, we'll see what happens once we get to international, because I imagine international deems it as like the Dominican. I don't imagine the Dominicans in East. The whole... So, okay, we do have to make a decision here. Do we want to define, for the sake of scouting, the Dominican and such as international, or to actually consider it North America like it is? Because if you guys do West Central, then again, Canada's probably international as well, right? Yeah, you guys are going to have to scout international too, because it includes Canada. So, yeah, you're going to have to do all four. I'm only going to be able to focus on international. Interesting developments there. All right, well, for me, I'm going to do starting pitchers in the international region. And I'm actually going to have all three scouts focus on every single thing at once to try and get as much information as I possibly can. And then the positional needs will just line up with whatever I'm scouting at that current time. Chat scouting is going to be very, very similar to what we've seen in the past, right? for you guys, it's going to be look at everything, right? Look at everything at least once with that base level scouting and see what happens from there. So if you scout for us, do we give up first dibs at staff picks? No, whoever finishes with the worst record in season 1 gets first crack at optimizing the staff. Same way it worked last franchise that we did. So there we go. Let's see what happens in week number 1. Can't wait for Tuga to end up with someone who was born at sea. It could happen. It could happen. The Marlins 0-15. The Athletics 1-14. Let's see. For you guys, so you got international starters. And then honestly, it'll just be on to relievers. I mean, again, both teams need everything they can possibly get. This is the best strategy for chat, but you're doing the work for us. Crash, I have to do the work for you, though. I literally have no choice. Otherwise, the mode would not work. You're overthinking it. You are overthinking it, my man. All right. Let's see. We are good to march on through another week. And still Oakland with the 1 win. Oh, my God. The Marlins take a game against Atlanta and the Chicago Cubs. Chat is currently winning the Tankathon. LFC, indeed. How the hell did I win 2 games? I shut out Atlanta, who started Spencer Strider. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Well, Josiah, you still need to scout international because otherwise you won't have interest built up on the players and they're less likely to sign with you. So for that reason, good thought, but you do still have to scout international. All right, so let's see. It will be relievers. Whoops. You already did reliever central. It'll be reliever east, reliever international, and then closer west. So we'll see how scouting goes. Did I already look at closers? I don't know if I looked at closers. I'm losing my mind. Did I look at closers? No, I did not. Cool. Scout position, closers, international. At least scouting for me is going to be pretty straightforward. Happy about that. See you another week. Mr. Duran has been... Ooh, the Blue Jays making a move. Okay. Blue Jays dealing Duran, or getting Duran, dealing Alejandro Kirk and Davis Schneider to the Twins. So the first notable trade that has happened in this timeline. So for the Marlins, catcher first and second will be up next, and hopefully this fucking strategy works for me in season 1. For the Athletics, it'll be finishing looking at closers. And then you guys can decide. I mean, I'm sure, again, it's just worth doing scouting this way overall. It just is. It's not the most engaging. Oh, my God. Miami's won 2 more. Oh, my God. Miami, my Marlins with 5 wins. The Athletics up to 3 wins. One of our 2 teams might actually hit double digits. That is insane. That is insane. All right, let's see. So for chat, the closers are done. Start looking at position players here. So it'll be catcher west, catcher central, catcher east. How many more games will these teams win? Oakland up to 4 wins. Marlins still at 5. Hilarious. Let's see. Catcher international. First base west. First base central. And for me, it'll be... So again, that's going to be the key. You know, scouting for me is a little bit more streamlined. The big question is... how many good international players will be out there that aren't a part of like the Dominican and stuff like that? 5 wins for the Athletics, 6 wins for the Marlins. Marlins will soar. And yes, that is exactly why I picked this team. And why I might not move them. So that I can be sponsored by Scott Stapp. That's the game plan. Second base West. And for Miami, I didn't look at third baseman yet, right? So the Bananas will soar. I am very tempted to rebrand as the Savannah Bananas. Jesus Christ, I'm up to 9 wins already. Chad at 5. You guys are going to have those top lottery odds next year. The Marlins are winning way too many games. Way too many games. Not great. Not great. I am in a bit of trouble. How the hell are we winning so many games? And we say so many. It's still 9 wins with 50 losses, but Jesus. All right, let's see. Left Field International. So I will have a couple of weeks to try and find the best players possible. For chat, this is pretty much what the scouting is going to be for you this year. And then it'll just be trying to find those diamonds in the rough. That'll be the deal. Achilles, we did elect to move on, yeah. We elected to move on with a new challenge. It was time. 9 wins for Miami, 6 wins for the Athletics in their final year in Oakland. It's a realistic video game. Let's be honest. That's not an out-of-the-question win total for Oakland this year. Let's be honest. For me here, whoops. Center Field International, Center Field International, and Center Field International. Right. And I will still do that. You guys can rename your prospects should you care to. Makes no difference to me. All right, so for me, my final week here, right field International. And for you guys, you're going to be on shortstop East, shortstop International, and left field West. Good. Orb, again, though, the issue is for international, Canada's included. So, unless you wanted the challenge to be USA versus the world, which it could be, but then it wouldn't make too much sense for you guys to move to Vancouver, would it? So, it's technically not too late to switch things up should you care to, but, you know, that's the issue with the scouting. So for the Marlins, I am now able to start looking at the top players available more in depth. So like Eddie Schwartz for me out of the Dominican, he's not going to be available. Juan Baroa out of Puerto Rico, not available to me. Benito Huerta, Puerto Rico, not available to me. Alberto Cruz, Puerto Rico, son of a bitch. This game's going to turn me into a real Florida man complaining about all the Puerto Ricans. Brandon Martin out of Canada. Fuck. I can't even draft you. You're Canadian. Where the hell's my Dutchman? Hello? Hello? Alberto Gomez, Mexico. Oh, dude, I'm fucked. Elvin Sosa, Dominican. I'm fucked. There's not a single guy out of Japan? Alan Bradley out of the Netherlands. Jesus Christ, I finally found somebody. Holy fuck. Oh, this is a terrible idea for me, isn't it? Vincent Lim out of South Korea. Get a better look at you. Christ. Anybody else? David Marte, Dominican. You able to filter by country? No. Chris Cruz out of Venezuela. Venezuela's mine, fuckers. Eat it. Chris Cruz. Get shit on. All right. Well, that's my scouting for the week. For you guys, left field Central, left field East, left field International. We sim another week, 20 days out from the draft. 3 guys out of 50. You know, this might not work out well for me. I I am open to admitting that. NA includes Mexico. That's a part of the continent. Sure is. All right, let's see. So for you guys, center field west, center field central, center field east, and for myself, okay, neither of these guys look particularly amazing. It's going to be the all-Japanese run all over again. No, it's not. I'm going to be saved by South Koreans. And it's going to be great. Just you wait. Me and all my South Korean brethren. It's going to be a great time. We have Vincent Lin, Antonio Tejada, Puerto Rico. Stephen Pierce, Puerto Rico? Stefan? Puerto Rico? The fuck? All right. Okay, if Alan Bradley is from Puerto Rico, thank God he's Dutch. It's all relievers for me. Jesus Christ. Alan, welcome in. Hopefully. I can't even draft you yet, but I can at least scout you. For fuck's sake. Let's see. Who else do we got? Andreas Hernandez, Dominican. Austin Jordan, Venezuela. There we go, Austin. 70% scouted. Okay. He was projected 69th. Love to see it. And we move on down the board. Who was next up? Brian Black, Canada. Damn it. Pedro Guerrero, Colombia. Also available to yours truly. All right, Pedro Guerrero. You look like you're probably trash, but you know, beggars can't be choosers right now. Not at all. Not at all. This is going to be a terrible idea. You know, so the question isn't going to be, does chat win? The answer is yes. The question for this now is going to be, can I avoid being the worst franchise in baseball history? That is the question. Make no mistake about it. Holy hell. Luis Robert Jr. traded to Baltimore for Jackson Holliday and Swervin Irvin. If I had gotten that goddamn trade, I would have won the last franchise. Where the hell was that trade offer when I was in control of the White Sox? Unbelievable. This game trolls. Nolan Jones has been traded from the Rockies for Rhett Lauder, Sal Stewart, and Austin Hendrick. What the hell? Some crazy trades. Sheesh. All right. Well, for you guys, the final week, you got to go right field central. Nope, not right field central. I meant right field east. Right field international. And you are able to scout one player. One player, chat. Who is your one? It should probably be this guy. With his near guaranteed A potential. Christ. Is there anybody that looks like they have like a crazy high overall or anything? Who's the number one projected pick? Boris Hatfield. For the starter, Eddie Schwartz. Another starter, Juan Baroa. Puerto Rico. He'll obviously be available to you. Another starter, Reggie Ruth. Out of Vermont. Never heard of it. Yeah, who the hell do you want to go for? Michael McCall. Antonio Tejada. I mean, there's plenty of options. There's plenty of options. Achilles said Scout Willis. So you know what? I will. There you go. You get the Scout Willis. Congratulations. For myself, can I find anybody else? I'm down around the 70s here. What do I got? Who do I got? Anybody else that might not be Complete garbage. Eric Duarte, Dominican. Pedro Guerrero, Colombia. Already looked at him. Black was from Canada. Chris Cruz, I looked at. Gerald. Oh, he's Canadian. Pablo Vasquez, Venezuela. That's good news for me. I could look further at Pablo Velasquez. The problem is, he's not very good. He's not very good. I'll look elsewhere. Ibar, Puerto Rico. Felipe Sierra, Dominican. Oh, my God. Albert Valley, Dominican. Alonso Carvajal, Venezuela. I'll look further at Carvajal. That's fine. Christ, I'm down in the 90s at this point. Right. Anybody else then? Look to Valley, Luis Escobar, Puerto Rico. Guerrero, Venezuela. Rivera's out of Mexico, so that's not eligible for me. I'll look at Guerrero because that overall could be high up there. One more player to scout out here. I don't know how the hell this draft is going to go for me. I am quite nervous for this. It feels like I'm playing on hard mode here. Timmy Lamar, Canada. God damn it, with a name like Timmy, I should have known. Dude, Venezuela. Venezuela is going to save me here. Regret letting us have the Dominican. No, not really. Why would I? Both of our teams absolutely suck. All right, so with that, we are off to our very first draft day as Chaz McCormick has been dealt to the Cubs for Adbert Alzolay and Jordan Wicks. There have been some weird ones. Might as well relocate the Marlins to Venezuela. Honestly, I'm thinking about it. The 2024 drafts. Let's see how this goes, chat. I believe it said you had the 4th overall pick. So you got a good little advantage there to start out of the gates. I'm not picking until number 16. So the Athletics have the 4th pick. It is Cleveland, Cincy, and Colorado to kick us off. As the Guardians select Juan Baroa, a top 5 projected starter, goes first overall to Cleveland. At 2, the Cincinnati Reds select Boris Hatfield, top 4 projected closer. Taking a closer 2nd overall is crazy, unless he's like the next Mariano Rivera. And the Colorado Rockies, of course, no longer Chat's Rockies. 3rd overall select Eddie Schwartz, the number 1 projected player, a starting pitcher. So that brings up Chat. Now, obviously, it's a lot of relievers that are up there, including guaranteed A potential Ricky Willis, 22 years old, mid to high 60s for an overall. In terms of non-relievers, high risk, high reward starter Garrett Pratt is available. Center fielder Michael McCall, but you have no interest on him at the moment. That's dangerous. 3rd baseman Antonio Tejeda, all risk, all reward. Shortstop Warner Sanchez, looks to be mostly a speed threat. Chat seems to be going with Willis. You also got first baseman Jeff Att. You only have him 20% scouted, Chat. However, I'd probably risk it for Jeff Adams. That's just me, though. That's just me. That's high risk, high reward. I'd risk it early on. Do you want the closer, or do you want the first baseman, Jeff Adams? There's also first baseman Joe Dooley, who doesn't look that good either. Adams. All right, chat seems to be on board with the idea of risking it for Jeff Adams. Are you sure? Do you not want the guaranteed A closer, Ricky Willis? Are you 100% sure? His name of Jeff, is he the guy? Going once on Adams. Going twice. Chat with the 4th overall pick. The first pick in their franchise's history since they've taken over. It's going to be the West Virginian first baseman, Jeff Adams. That'll either be a horrible pick or that could be an absolutely unbelievable pick. Time will tell. I am up at pick number 16. Obviously, we're not too attached to these. He was ranked 39th, and you picked him 8th? Fuck you, LA. You lose in the World Series, and you fuck me in the draft. All right, who do I have available here? Who do I have? I got Huerta, who wasn't available, out of Puerto Rico. Elroy Jack's a great name. Brandon Martin's Canadian. Alberto Gomez is out of Mexico. David Marte was Dominican. Vincent Lim out of South Korea. Pierce was Puerto Rican. Ridiculous. Hernandez was Dominican. Jordan was Venezuelan. Bradley was Dutch. Could be really good. Eric Duarte was Dominican. Guerrero out of Colombia. Doesn't look that good, though. Guerrero out of Venezuela. That potential's looking damn promising. Black was out of Canada. Canada, Puerto Rico, Venezuela again. Obviously, I'm trying to get a bit of a list established here for future picks. Escobar, Puerto Rico, Rivera out of Mexico, Dominican, Canada, Venezuela. Venezuela versus North America. There's my first Japanese-born player, Jay Fong. Larry Dorsey out of the Netherlands. Zimmerman out of Venezuela. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Dude, it's literally Venezuela to glory. Douglas Ikeda out of Japan. Yamazaki out of Japan. Quintana's out of Mexico. Puerto Rico. Dominican. Jamaica. I don't even get Jamaica. Alvarado, Dominican. Duff out of Australia. Let's go. Gonna punch some ruse. Japan, Venezuela. Canada. Dominican, Venezuela. This is insane. Dominican, Panama. Panama is not eligible. Technically North America. What a terrible idea this was for me. Venezuela, Canada, Japan, Australia. All right, I've almost gone through the entire list. Canada, Germany, David Holton. Robert Oak out of Japan. Steven Maeda out of Japan. Moreno's out of Venezuela. Sanchez out of Venezuela. This is insane. Asuncion out of Venezuela. I'm about to become the biggest Venezuelan fan in the world. Cuba's not available. South Korea is. Ayala's Dominican. And then I'm back to the start. Okay, so what am I going to do here? In terms of guys that are projected, Lim, potential-wise, not bad. Austin Jordan is at least a guaranteed B pitcher. Bradley's a bit of a risk. Guerrero's a risk. Albert Guerrero, slight chance of being an A. Pretty obvious choice for me here. I'm aware of how much time I have. Calm your tits. I'm going for the Venezuelan Austin Jordan. Austin, come on down, buddy. My first ever pick. My own scouts viewed him as a second rounder, but that's okay. Austin, welcome in. Happy to have you with the fish. Tremendous. The next pick for either one of us is your Athletics to start round 2. Again, we're not all that familiar with too many of the names in this particular draft. It'll get more interesting down the road. So let's see who you guys have here. Reliever Sean Fishman. Boomer bust type of pick. Reliever Ray Gutierrez. Could be good. Also a boomer bust kind of pick, though. First baseman Joe Dooley. Looks okay, but he did just go for the boomer bust pick. Another reliever, Foster Sellers. Another starter, Estevan Villarreal. Out of Texas. Boomer bust kind of pick. Starting pitcher Stefan Marrero. Another boomer bust kind of pick. Reliever Alan Bradley. More of the same. Some good high-end ranges if he ends up there. Peter Page. Another reliever. Starter Alberto Gomez out of Mexico. All right. Vincent Lim. You can't take him. He's mine. Dave Boston as a reliever. Bradley was from the Netherlands. Fair enough. Albert Valley was out of the Dominican. Chad, it's looking like a boomer bust pick. Pretty much no matter what here. Pretty much no matter what. It's just who do you want to take the risk on? Do you go from the reliever? I'm waiting for, well, he's from Georgia. It doesn't say the state of the country, so I'm taking him. That would be genius, but we'd know because I only scout out international. David Marte is a reliever. Chad, any disagreement with going for one of these two relievers here? I mean, particularly Ray Gutierrez could be worth it. Again, you had Fishman, Gutierrez, and Dooley. Really, it's between both Fishman and Gutierrez at the top of the board for who your scouts like the most. We can't take Bradley. Yeah, that's right. You can't. I keep forgetting. I'm afraid to try and take him off the board. Any disagreement on Ray Gutierrez? Going once for the Goody. Going twice for the Gootee. And Ray Gutierrez will be Chat's second round pick. High risk, high reward at both first base and reliever. I don't have another pick until pick number 56. Right. Who else do I have here? Who else do I have? Albert Guerrero's still there. Good risk it for him. Good risk it for him. At least a B. Carvajal's a B. Also as a starter. Glenn Camp's likely a B, but that overall is probably terrible. Good defensive center fielder, though. Jay Fong as a starter. Ugh, it's a risk. It's a risk. Akinori Yamazaki. Doesn't look that bad as a shortstop. Overall is probably terrible. Got a Banez later on in the draft. Thomas Shibuya. Definitely got some picks later on down the board. I think for the moment, I got to go for the starting pitcher, Albert Guerrero. Welcome to Miami, at least for the moment, depending on whether or not I move. So, Albert, welcome in. I really should do Discovery for International as well. Future strats. I have a competitive balance round B pick. Round B pick. Why is that difficult to say? So do you guys. So I'm up again. Who do we got? Carvajal is a starter. You're guaranteed B. Then there's Glenn Camp. Okay, it's got to be either Camp or Carvajal. Gonna go for the other starter. Out of Venezuela, Alfonso Carvajal. Welcome in, Fonzo. Chat's up next. Let's see. Highest projected players left for you guys. Reliever Dave Boston. You have Steven Pierce as a starting pitcher. Reliever David Marte. Pretty much all these guys, it's just best guess. There's a catcher in Daryl Ferguson out of Jamaica. Reliever West Fry. Oh, Chato, good old oral Sheksh with you. Back again. We've missed you over the past month. Welcome back. Howie Elliott. Good potential. Maybe not the highest overall. David Hernandez, not looking that bad. There's also Jim David. Good potential, but maybe not the best overall. Richie Hood in left. Could be a really good contact hitter. What do you guys think here? Did anybody jump off the page? Shadow Stalker shouting out Ferguson or Elliott. And Ferguson, high risk, high reward catcher. Elliott, pretty straightforward starter. The overall could be low, though. Any other opinions, Chad? It is your pick. Obviously, in subsequent rounds, we'll have to be faster than this. It'll go down to a minute. Another shout for Howie Elliott. Howie Elliott going once. Howie Elliott going twice. Chat goes for the starter. Howie Elliott. There you go. Let's see. Next pick in round 3. You guys have another pick here. 1 minute to win it. Dave Boston. Stephen Pierce. David Marte. All high risk, high reward. Ferguson's still there. David Fry. You got higher potentials with Jim David and Richie Hood. But they're both a little bit older. Any disagreement? I see Orb shouting out Ferguson now. 30 seconds, chat. High pressure. David's getting a lot of shouts. Going once for Jim David. Going twice. Sold for the starter. Jim David. I don't have a pick until number 95. Glenn Camp is still there, looking like a good reliever. Akinori Yamazaki is still there, but I just have a hunch his overall is trash. So I am going to go for the center fielder out of Venezuela. Can you believe it? Glenn Camp. Come on down, Glenn. Venezuela to glory. Underway. Chat's up next to kick off round 4. Stephen Pierce, who your scouts still like. David Marte. Daryl Ferguson's still there. Shortstop, Gerard Finn. Jake Castle, Mortero. You got Timmy Lamar. Dante Martinez as a shortstop. Elvis Cherry, but he wasn't that good. John Dotson. People are shouting out Ferguson now. Is now the time to risk it on Daryl. Is now the time to risk it for old Daryl Ferguson. Going once on Fergie. Going twice on Fergie. A shout for Finn. Is it too little too late? Ferguson gets the win. Obviously, in the early stages of these drafts, it's going to be just throw a dart, see where it lands, fill out the holes in the lineup later on players that you missed on. For now, it's fucking best guess. I'm up at pick number 125. Let's see. Ibanez. Another Venezuelan. But I got to go for that high-end potential. I am going to go... Oh, shit. But Doug Ikeda. Enrique Angelis also looking pretty good. In terms of potential high-end overalls. Oh, do I go for that or do I go for listed potentials? I'm gonna go with my gut and go for potentials. I'm taking Enrique Angelis because I took too long. Well, Enrique, welcome aboard. That's why I have people on the short list. That's honestly fine by me. I mean, I was debating taking him and the other guy anyway. So that fucking 30-second timer is a pain in the ass. We go up to chat. Round number 5. Reliever Pedro Ponce. Christopher Lewis. Anybody up to a 90? Boris Guidry out of New York. Manuel Ramirez is available. Julio Figueroa, you didn't scout. Chat shouting out Ponce at the moment. There's Luis Goral. Irvin DeMille. High risk, though. Andreas Medina was out of California. You didn't have him scouted somehow. Chat was calling for Ponce. Pedro Ponce. Going once. Going twice. And sold on Pedro Ponce. Sort of, we are literally just going off of what is defined as a North American country, dependency, or other territory on Wikipedia. So, I'll give you your answer. All right, let's see. I'm up next. Akeda's still there. I'm going to take Doug Ikeda as well. I'm going to take the reliever. We'll risk it. Dougie, come on down. Hoping for the best there. Chat's final pick in round number 6. Anybody with a 90? Andreas Medina as a center fielder out of California. Greg McKnight out of Canada. 70 to a 90. Brian Williams, 76 to a 98 out of Iowa. Richie Zarco out of Pennsylvania. Gustavo Moreno, who you cannot take. He's out of Venezuela. Ken Lloyd out of Missouri. 83 to 95. And that is it. What do you think, chat? Who's it going to be? 20 seconds. A shout out for Medina. Couple of shout outs for Andreas Medina. Shout out for Zarco. Going once for Medina. It's got to be Medina. Andreas Medina. On his way to chat's team. My final pick. Unfortunately, the guys with the higher potentials really kind of disappeared. So it's got to be the catcher out of Japan, Robert Oka, as my final pick. I am very intrigued to see who ended up with a better class here, because obviously our two teams are a disaster. I'm at 14 and 81. Chat's at 9 and 88 to start off our first season with completely torn down teams. I mean, my ace, Bubba Derby, has nearly a 9.0 ERA. Really kind of sums up where we're at. It's going to be a long process here, isn't it?